certainly to me, Logan, if they beat somebody in the second round from Bama up, that's going to be quad one. And I think that I actually think that'll get them in. I think we have the opposite working for A&M.
Howdy, welcome back into TexAgs. This is The Rewind. We had a packed show today, talking lots of Aggie sports, exciting things going on in Aggieland. David, what was your favorite part of the show today?
Favorite part of the show, Schloss. He did talk about the Top Gun volleyball game that we could have with me joining the guys doing fungo golf, like shirtless and like all oiled up. I don't think I'm all in for that, but that was fun.
I would be. Hey, I don't know if I'd pay to see it, but I'd love to hear about it.
Well,
yeah.
You can find it on Google Images and on my OnlyFans page. Royce,
Yes.
I know you don't have an OnlyFans page, but what was your favorite part of the show?
Well, being here with you and Matt.
Yeah.
It really is just exciting to be here and have a chance to talk. But you stole mine because really Schlossnagle I thought was really on this morning, and he's a good interview.
Every time you get him, he's great.
Yeah,
he really is.
Y'all click.
When I drop a Nuno joke that you catch, I get you to laugh during the show.
He gets me guys every time, too.
What was your favorite part beyond Schloss?
You got to let McGee and OB together, and then Logan being late was pretty funny. It's kind of my fault, so I'll take that.
And Liucci came in.
Yeah, Liucci popped in.
Yeah.
So.
And unexpected.
And Callie, I'm going to assume you liked Roy Philpott's interview?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, we got it all today. We got every sport covered. So, but Schloss is always my favorite. So.
That's right. And we talked badminton on the show.
Jam-packed show. Watch the rewind.
If the NIL contracts continue at their current pace, you'd have to think that some of the money going toward NIL will come from future facility developments. If you think back to the NFL before a lot of these practice facility upgrades, like the Star in Frisco, the Cowboys practice facility in Valley Ranch was pretty horrible, right? And the point there is to say that the free agency dollars were going after getting good football players, not necessarily having great facilities. But then they realized that sometimes having good facilities helps sign better quality football players, right? But there's only X amount of dollars that can go after the program, right? Whether it's facilities and or NIL players or paying coaches and millions and millions of dead dollars. So to me, I think the first thing is going to be paying the players, and then facilities are good enough.
Well, you're a big money ag, so when you contribute, do you prefer your money going to the collective to pay players, or do you prefer your big money to go to facilities?
Boy, this is gonna be a hot button. Big money ag. So my $10 I gave.
$10.
It's golly, this is hard. I would feel better about giving money to players if I felt like the end result was in their best position. I just feel like NIL takes away from their longevity. I think that it's short-sighted for these players. The best thing that these guys can do, we talked about this in a previous show, is get a degree.
Yep.
And graduate from a school.
Mm-hmm.
Getting that degree from Texas A&M is worth way more than getting $10,000 from an NIL collective. Great. I know that a lot of these guys don't come from a lot of money, and $10,000 is a lot of money. Good. I'm not discrediting that, but my goodness, the degree is worth so much more.
Yeah, I think, we talk about it all fall and all spring. You got to be prepared for every environment. And I know this sounds coachy, but the game doesn't know that you're playing at Texas, and the game doesn't know that you're playing at home against Texas Southern. And one crowd, I thought our crowd last night was great, but it certainly wasn't, what Tuesday night was. But you just have to go play, and each day presents a different challenge. The weather could be beautiful with a great crowd, or the weather could be freezing, and you don't have a great crowd, and you got to find a way to win a game. So the most mature teams, there's nothing more immature than not showing up to play the day after you play your rival, right? You have to show that you're able to play, and so I thought last night was really good. And then what happens is, you don't score in the first couple innings. You got a lefty out there flipping it up there 78 miles an hour. And, pitching, a guy can be a good pitcher without throwing hard. And what happens is the team that, is quote unquote supposed to win starts to press. I can promise you it wasn't because we weren't ready to play. It's that, you can't play baseball with tension. You can't worry about what might happen. I mean, it's kind of like the rest of life. You just have to play. And we got out of character doing some things, whether it be on the bases or over swinging because everybody's over trying. But at the end of the day, we made some good pitches. We got 2 big swings from Hayden and Braden, and we won the ball game. And then, when the game was over, you'd have thought we lost. And winning's hard, man. And continuing to win is even harder. So, honestly, the first time I've met with this team was after the game last night, and it was just to tell them, hey, why is everybody down? I mean, we freaking won the game. And at the end of the day, you don't get one. Every win is worth 1. You don't get 1.5 for beating Texas.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we were all surprised when they come out in the first 20 minutes. They're 7 of 10 from 3. Wade Taylor kind of gets out of that shooting slump. I mean, if you're a fan of the Aggies, that's something you love to see. But yeah, Jekyll and Hyde, I think, makes sense. Their backcourt's so talented, and with Boots and Wade, it just feels like that. The consistency hasn't been there with the outside shot at times this year. I think the percentages back that up a little bit. So that's part of it. Of course, they would be a different team if everybody was healthy the entire year. But look, man, it's the end of the year. You got a chance to try to sneak your way into the NCAA tournament. Buzz he's pushing for it, man. They were pretty superstitious yesterday before the game. They did everything the exact same way they had done before the Georgia game, and just down, I think, to the pregame meal. So they were trying to press the right buttons to try to make sure that everything from an intangible standpoint, all his boxes were checked. They got some work to do. So yeah, Jekyll and Hyde, I was behind to that, but they've won 2 straight after that 5-game skid, and now they got to find a way to finish strong to have a chance on Selection Sunday.
So I'm in a weird place when it comes to Wade Taylor because he was definitely better yesterday. He had a big steal, some big threes. There's no doubt about it. But I think he finished with 13. Can they win with that model with Wade Taylor not kind of being the alpha that he was for most of the earlier part of the SEC play?
I mean, if Manny Obaseki is going to give you what he did, I was kind of blown away by what he did last night. All right, so that's back-to-back games where he started for the first time in almost, 2 years, I think it is, since A&M was there in Madison Square Garden, NIT. And, I mean, he gives you a little something. And I think, part of that is he can get to the rim, can open some things up. And now we've got 2 games of evidence where, yeah, it does kind of work with the question you asked. And, Buzz, I think, was quick this past week to kind of take up for Wade a little bit after that performance against Georgia, where I think he had 4 points, 4 turnovers, and 4 fouls, but the plus minus was off the charts. And so did he stumble on something in a weird way, maybe in that game?
Number one, it's really cool for him. Number two, it gives them a chance right now.
It gives them a fighting chance. I don't know how much of a chance they have left outside of beating Ole Miss, winning a minimum of 2.
You think it takes at least?
See, I think it's a minimum of 1, probably 2. You think it's 2, and if not, going all the way to the final?
Yeah, because if they win 1, it's going to be
matter.
against 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever it is. So they're going to have to win that second one, which is going to be against a top 4, top 6.
Here's where I think
that 10-9 against quad 1 and 2. I mean, that's like
crazy.
as good as Auburn. I was seeing Auburn's like 1-7 against going into this week, 1-7 against quad 1, and then they were like 8-1 against quad 2. So I mean, their quad 1 and 2 is about the same as Auburn's. Like it's wild. And like you said, even if they get in there and they could win a quad 2 in the first round. They could be 11-10 in quad 1 and 2 and play 21 games.
Well,
I don't know
show the standings, because this is where I push back a little bit. Mississippi State is at the 7th seed, A&M right behind them. If A&M beats Ole Miss, Mississippi State's playing South Carolina this weekend. That could be a loss. A&M would have the tiebreaker, right? And also that would be Mississippi State's 4th straight loss.
Yeah, they wouldn't need it.
And A&M's 3rd straight win.
How'd Florida get to 11-6?
I know. So to me, if the SEC is going to allow 7 teams in there, and A&M passes Mississippi State, and they are on a hot streak, and Mississippi State's losers of 4 straight, depending on what they do in the tournament, then I don't know how you can ignore A&M's resume.
No, I don't think you can.
if A&M beats Ole Miss and wins a first-round game against somebody below them there, right? You'd be on a 5-game winning streak. So you followed up a 5-game losing streak with a 5-game winning streak. They're at 17 wins now. They'd be at 19 wins. And then if they lost, they certainly, to me, Logan, if they beat somebody in the second round from Bama up, that's going to be quad 1. And I think that I actually think that'll get them in. I think we have the opposite working for A&M than worked against them.
Callie, do you think Royce will be able to tell the people what to do?
Maybe. I have confidence.
All right, Royce, tell the people what to do.
Well, you need to like us.
Holy smokes, you are confident.
All right. You need to like us and share and
Subscribe.
yes.
Subscribe is the key.
Yeah.
And then click the notification
And-
bell so you
and
don't never
shame
miss
on you
another
if you don't.
TexAgs Rewind.
These are my fan show friends. We'll see you next time.